Who is the loved one? Allah. Who is Ar-Rahman? Allah. Who is Al-Mannan? La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammad is the messenger, to Allah is our return. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammad is the messenger, to Allah is our return. La ilaha illallah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihil kareem. Sayyidina wa habibana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsan ila yawmiddin. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. To those who do not know me, maybe you know, some know my voice. My name is Hamza Mbhele. We've been hosting a talk show on Islam on Ukhozi FM for the past 5 years. There are people who did it before that, you know, when before we took over, and I see our brother, our respected Isa Kambule, who is here. We have been featuring in explaining Islam to African people on Radio Ansar, and that is in the past. That is even before the 5 years, the 60 years. You remember, I think when the sister Amina Ngubane, long before she became professor, then today she is Professor Amina Ngubane in media sciences, and we thank Allah for her. She, because of her program, that is how we were introduced to radio. And in all these years, it proved to be a very interesting medium. It broke down a lot of barriers. It showed what was happening in society. And as I was saying that when I spoke to Brother Yusuf, when he spoke to me, he said, would you like to go into discussions of those people, the new Muslims? In reality, in English, the new Muslim is not a revert, it's a convert. It's not a revert. Because when you say revert, Islamically, it could mean that you were a Muslim and you became murtad, which is a crime against Allah, and which in Islam is punishable by death. That is traditional. Because it is like somebody who belongs to a secret society or to a particular grouping, and you are given all the secrets and all of a sudden you leave. That is treason. And treason is punishable by death in any society. So that is why I do not like, personally, if anybody likes using the word, I have no issues with that, except if we come to the discussion. We are not reverts for the reasons that will come, you know. We are converts because we come from a particular worldview. Otherwise, we would not have accepted and embraced Islam. Can you see? That is it. It makes sense. Thank you very much. So with Brother Isa, we came a very long way. And at that time, we were only talking to a Muslim audience. And then we came into Ukhozi FM. You speak to an all-inclusive audience, which includes Muslims, and it includes a lot of non-Muslims. And among the people who are not Muslim, you find a lot of seekers. And you find sometimes, you know, among the seekers, you find that there is one who challenges you. And he would say to you, no, this is not your religion. This is an Indian religion. This is a what religion. But you find that really he is not a critic. His critique is a way of drawing out of you the best of what you know about what you claim you believe in. And if you take it very nicely and you explain to him, he becomes one of the greatest friends. And because of this medium of radio, this is what we came to discover. And this is where this topic, which I want us to interact. Because although our radio program is not interactive, which is tying us, is hobbling us, you know, it would have been, there was a time when we had 15 minutes, we used to do a presentation of 7 minutes sometimes, very quickly, and then we ask for questions, and it would be very much interactive. And this is where we had a lot of people becoming Muslim because there was a lot of interaction. But be that as it may, we, because of WhatsApp phone in, and messaging and the telephone numbers which we leave, cell phone numbers, we still get people coming back to us and they discuss. And what becomes very interesting is that at that level, in that platform, you don't become only a Muslim. A lot of people are looking for solutions from you as a believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In other words, you become an advisor. People come to you. They look for, please advise us. We are looking for this, and then you have to look into this thing and say, okay, please call me the following day and let us look into your problem, and then we can find an issue. There are people who challenge me directly, and like one man who said to me, look, I'm qualified so much, I come from this, he come from prominent families, but once there's something about, this is human. It's not only about, it is human. We found it among the Jews. I remember once there's a brother wanted to buy a house. So we were scouting around for a house. So we went to one suburb in Johannesburg, and we found this house. And there's an address there and a telephone number. Please phone so-and-so. So when we phoned so-and-so, they said, come to this particular house. When we came to that house, because I don't know for what reason, they kept us outside and they were communicating with us through the intercom. And they started, these are Jewish people, they started attacking their own brother. That the brother was, he disappointed the family, they spent so much money on him, and there were figures. I said, but this, they do not know us from Adam. But this is what they were saying about their own brother. So it dawned upon me that certain issues, when they are brought up, they are not brought up because you are a Muslim or you are a Jew and all that, because you are human. And some of these things happen because we are dealing with human beings. So the human beings come to you and they say, like this woman last Ramadan, she said to me, I have this problem, Mfundisi, of this family of mine and all that. Mtandazise, please make prayer for me. And I said to her, look, the prayer is easy for me and you to do. To change the situation is difficult for me and you. But the situation, because it belongs to Allah, He is the one who's going to change it. And I said to her, she said to me, how are we going to change it? I said, okay, you have come at a time, most opportune time. We are about to take the fast of Ramadan. What is the fast of Ramadan? No, so I explained and everything. And I said, from sunrise to sunset, we are not going to eat, and we'll be involved in prayer and all that. Although most of us, we forget, we are fasting, and then we go on with our idle talk. You know the story. And she said to me, can I join you? I said, it does not belong to me. It's true. Allah says to the angels when they want to bless the one who's doing the fast, says, leave that, because the fast is for me and I'm the one who blesses it. Now I took it from there. Any traditional man or religious leader would have said to me, how can you invite people to indulge in Ramadan? But does the fast belong to me or him? And the answer is simple, no. It belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I said to this lady, okay, I will give you instructions. I gave her an instruction of half wudu. I don't have authority. Said, wash your face, wash your hands and your feet. But make sure that in the toilet, don't question, don't answer anybody if they ask you what the bottle is doing, because we are going to do istijah. That's where you are going to start. Every time you do that. So much I told her. And I told her to do this. And at night, when everybody is asleep, I said, it's at 12 o'clock. You know the story. So I said, no, not 12 o'clock. I said 1 o'clock. When everybody is asleep, you will wake up and go to the toilet and relieve yourself and do this cleaning and wash yourself. And then you will speak to your God. At that time, I will be speaking along with you. She was happy. Believe you me, at the end of Ramadan, she comes back to me. She says, 3/4 of my problems have been solved. My family came to me. They are embracing me. They are doing this and that and that. Now, these are issues in terms of dawah I'm talking about. They are life issues, and you know what we are talking about. Some of us, for instance, there is a brother who is who used to be very close to me, and I still consider him to be close to me. It's just that, you know, in life, when you find a bit of disappointment with somebody close to you, that is why for me, when people say, I love you, I get scared. Because love is violent. More violent than hate. You know, when you love somebody and the person does something that you never expected of that particular person, like married people, and then you find that there is an extramarital affair. That is why it becomes so bad and so acrimonious, because you thought that there was love translates to trust sometimes. And you begin to ask yourself, I say, but how can I trust? Because I said I love. And it becomes an issue. That's why love is so violent. And this brother, when we first met him, I was doing dawah everywhere. That time I was so talkative, you can't believe it. It was as if, you know, Islam takes something out of you. And I was a bit shy when I was growing up at school and all that. But the day I said the Shahada, something happened. I was reading anything that I came across about Islam and all that. And yet, believe you me, I'm one person who never liked praying. No, I never liked it. Because even before Islam, that's why I say I was not a revert, I was a convert. I rejected Allah. But in my heart of hearts, I knew that He was there. Each question that I posed to people was for them to give me a good reason of believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one reason was, one man said to me when I said, don't tell me about God, man. He does not exist. He said, he looked at me, he tried to reason with me, and I just dismissed him. But I was listening very attentively. And he says to me, who can give you a green carpet from one part of the coast to the other part of the coast? And when the sun is so hot, he gives you an umbrella that you do not pay for. And when you are thirsty because of that sun, which is burning down on you, you are able to find quenching water. And after that, you sleep. I looked at this man. I said, he's telling the truth. And when he said that, then I went to the sea. Just here. I looked at the sea, and it made sense to me. Who can make such a big body of water? From what? Now, at school you were taught that water is created from the combination of hydrogen and oxygen. So much oxygen and so much hydrogen. Where is it from? And for one who is sensible, the one who believes, you will see that there is one who is beyond your own reasoning power and all that. So I was telling you about this brother. In his family, they were selling liquor. Let me say, it was a shibin. And he was one of my friend with whom I had become Muslim the same night, was serving people liquor, and we were Muslim, and we knew that it was haram for us. But at that time, we never knew that it was haram to serve it. But this is how he was getting sustained from his own home. And we met this man, and we gave him dawah. And he had a half-full glass of brandy, pure brandy. And we said to him, look at you. You know, when you are young, you don't know that if people can stop coming to this house, and then, you know, the income of this house will suffer and all this, and even your friend will suffer. We were saying, no, you're killing yourself and all this because mbulalas, this thing kills the nation and all that. We were talking that kind of language. And he looked at us, he says, what you are saying is true. And are you saying it because of Islam? We said, yes. He never finished his glass of brandy. He pushed it aside and he said, the half that I've already taken was my last one. And he became one of the strongest Muslims that I have ever seen. Now, these are the issues that we are facing as Muslims who come into Islam. And that is not only the only thing. Another one is we have realized that we seem to live in a dual world, two worlds. Christians are living in another world, and when they have their problems, they go to another world. You know, the world of Sangomas and Inyangas and all that. It is true. So in other words, we have two religions in one. In English, it is called syncretism, where you join the two. Like, for instance, if you go to the people who call Amazayone, they will beat that drum and they will go around and all that. They will be healing people with using the Bible. At the same time, calling upon certain mediums, spirits, and all that. You know the story, if you come there. Now here is a person who is not a Muslim. He wants to know about Islam. And he meets somebody who explains Islam, or he meets somebody who does dawah in the street or something, and he tells him, this is what I was looking for. And he comes, or she comes and say to you, please, can you explain this? When you talk about, you cannot come to them with the Bible, because at that time when they are looking for something else, they don't want any debate with you concerning the Bible. Others will try to debate with you. And you can point out a few things because you've been taught in your classes, you know, that, no, but what about this, these inconsistencies and all that. And there's something about African people. They don't like to debate a lot about God. You know that. They don't. Because we were taught that you've got to respect him. Because he is such a great being that even in your ignorance, he still remains great in you. So the people come to you and they become Muslim. And when they become Muslim, here is another thing. Many people, we are not created the same. There are people who are able to, they get very truthful dreams. And we know in Islam what the Prophet ﷺ said. He said about dreams. He said, dreams, truthful dreams are 1/46 part of prophethood. So when you get a very good dream and a true dream, you have been given a glimpse into prophethood. And there are a lot of people who are like that, especially our sisters. I don't know about men. There's some men, I've heard it, but I know, for instance, my mother was not a Muslim, but she used to have very truthful dreams. But now here is a trick. You come to Islam and Allah says in the Quran, وَلَا تَعْبُدُوا شَيْطَانٍ إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. He says, do not worship shaitan because he is an open enemy to you. And shaitan promised in the Quran that he will attack you from positions which you do not understand. And one of the ways in which he attacks people, it is through dreams. The Prophet ﷺ said, he says, the bad dream, the evil dream is from shaitan. But at the same time, you get tricked. You get tricked, the one who is a believer. That now, sometimes you get this, and you know, I'm coming up with something which is really happening among us. Many people, when people dream about their grandfather or grandmother, they will think of sacrificing something, right? Or maybe if they get another dream, you know, like dreaming of a black dog, they will say this is bad luck, so they must sacrifice something because it may be that our own entities, I'm not going to say ancestors because they're dead, our own entities seem to have turned against us. And at that time, the people, because of your teaching before, you have been tricked into believing that they do have some kind of power. This is where Islam comes in. And these are the issues which come up. And these are the issues we meet from the radio, where people ask us, hey, Nina, do you believe in ancestors? And we say to them, yes, we believe in ancestors. But not for the reason that they believe in. Because you can never deny your own ancestor because you are a DNA imprint of your ancestor. So I believe that I do have an ancestor. I did not drop out from the sky. You understand? So when you tell people like that, it's a trick because you've got to have presence of mind at that time. Do you believe in ancestors? Yes, I believe in ancestors. And they say, do you sacrifice for ancestors? And say, why do you have to? Why do you have to to ask me that question. You see, as Africans, now the man is no longer a Christian. Can you see? Yeah. This is where the syncretism comes in. So you find that there is something happening. No, do you know, I said, but as a Christian, what do you do? Then everything tongue in cheek.